This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Hello, Freakazoids. We've got, hold on a second. Gotta get to a different screen. Oh, there's Chloe there running around. Yeah, we've got Steph May on the, on my phone. So here she is. She's gonna be leaving the hospital now, although she's still coughing. So tell us what the update is. Can you hear me? Hello. Are you there? Hold on a second. Well, you can hear the machine in the background. Steph May, are you there? Oh, well, she's here. I can hear the machines. So we'll just have to wait a second. Are you there? Can you hear me? Hold on. I'm not sure if I'm muted or what. Can you hear me?
Can we turn those monitors down? We're off.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? That's so weird. I can hear her. I don't know if she can hear me, though. Huh. Well, I don't know what the... She was just talking to me, and then all of a sudden she... But I can't hear you now. Are you there? Wow. Hold on. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, for some reason you couldn't hear me. I was talking to you, but I think it was just...
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? This is weird. Hello.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So,
I think I hit a button when they're coming to take the monitors off.
all right, there you go. So tell us how what the update is. I know you're still coughing and everything, but you're gonna get out of it.
I'm trying not to. No, the pneumonia is gone, and upper respiratory infection is all gone. My numbers are in the 96, around 96. So I still need a little bit of oxygen from time to time, but I can do that at home. So I'm busting out of here within the hour.
Nice.
I'm gonna go home and recuperate since I live alone and there's nobody there to get sick.
Okay, but you better respond when I'm checking in now that you're by yourself, okay?
I definitely will.
Okay.
Definitely will.
All right, so
Everybody.
how are you getting home?
I got one of the hospital here has like an Uber transit, and I live in town, so they're gonna let me hitch a ride there since I came in by squad.
Okay.
I watched the last two shows. I couldn't be more proud. Gray doing such an awesome thing with Danny Armentrout, and
Yeah.
it makes me proud to be a freak and excited to move on to the next one and help somebody out, another family or...
Yeah, well, I'm not having you... I didn't have you call to tell... it's as a promo for the show. It was... I wanted to say... But I appreciate it,
Yeah, I'm excited. Good work, though. But
yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
A lot better.
Yeah. So you're feeling better. Awesome.
Much better.
Yeah.
This stuff is no joke. It comes out of nowhere. You think you got a cold. You think you got, just some type of bug, and when it hits it hits. I'm pretty healthy otherwise, and I
Yeah.
had no idea that I had COVID. I had no idea that I had COVID until it was too late. So I know there's a lot of head colds going around. The doctors there are saying vaccinated or not, that's irrelevant. If you got symptoms, cold or flu, you should get tested to know, because it varies from place to place, person to person.
Yeah, I mean, you can still catch it, but if you got like booster, you're pretty well protected. It'll probably be pretty mild, but you still catch it, you know. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Totally.
Hopefully this will be something that sort of burns through the population, and kind of after that it just sort of starts fading away, the whole damn thing. I'm hoping anyways.
Yeah, I freaking hope so. How's Jen H doing?
I think she's doing okay. She's been in the chat here. I mean, I think she's just playing the waiting game, you know.
Yeah, I'm thinking about her a lot too, praying for her too.
Yeah. Well, I don't want you to have to spend any more energy speaking. I just thought it'd be cool if people could hear you talking for a minute.
Yeah, thanks for the prayers, everybody.
Yeah.
It's the best channel on the whole internet.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you'll be getting home, and I'll check in on you. You know, send me a text when you make it home and everything. You know, so.
I will do that. Thank you very much.
All right.
All the prayers, kind words. You guys are great.
Yeah.
I'll be back. Be back to strong and ready to kick some butt before too long.
Okay. All right.
Your trolls, we're coming for you.
Looking forward to it. All right.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's kind of what she sounded like prior to going in. She was coughing a lot, but it's good news. Oxygen's all back up. The pneumonia's gone. Everything like that. I don't have any thoughts. It's just some idiot, Patricia. We're on the other cases tonight. Let's see. It's just any psycho hacker could do something like that. That's what the people do. All right, so this is our last night of the month before our main donation night tomorrow. And I'm gonna see if I can. We've already donated $1,000 this month, and I'm gonna try to do another 3. Got to send it into the Intermountain Forensics, which is the nonprofit that then sends the money for use at Identifinders. Man, look at Blue. He's just falling asleep. Ooh. Yep. Yeah, I mean, Steph May is one of the strongest people out there. I mean, man. You know, like they have the faster than a locomotive. Well, she's stronger than a locomotive, okay? 2 bouts of COVID. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah. He looks kind of tired. Yeah, he does look. He's sleepy. He looks like he's just. The camera is distorting his face, though. It doesn't look like that. It's narrower. All right. I just heard about this case today, and it just made me really angry. And this is the. Let me turn down the music. So I guess tomorrow night is also New Year's Eve too, right? So maybe we'll have to do like a call-in show or after the first hour where we do one last push. And I think Dennis might call in because he was back at Breckenridge. And then, people can call in and talk about what their favorite part of the year was. You know, I mean, there were so many stories that we covered. You know, you might have to go back through and look through. There's some really interesting ones out there. I don't know what that means. The lady in the tramp is a tramp, whatever. I don't even know what that means. Yeah. All right. So first thing we're going to do is the Oakley Carlson. And there's this little girl up in Washington. Right here. Sister of girl 5 who vanished in February said sibling had been eaten by wolves as parents are jailed. So this is back on December 16th. Hey, thank you. Hey, Bell, Quintanilla. Gray, I won't be around tomorrow. This is for donation night. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you and the Freak family. Well, thank you. Newly released court documents allege that the 6-year-old sister of Oakley Carlson told investigators during an interview the missing 5-year-old Washington girl was no longer around. KCPQ, citing the documents, reported that Oakley was last seen alive in early February. I mean, that's how long ago this was. I mean, what's going on? I mean, 10 months ago and nobody was checking in? Or People magazine confirms that Oakley was reported missing by a concerned citizen earlier in this month, and that after conducting a welfare check at their Oakville home, the Grays Harbor Sheriff's Office arrested Oakley's parents, 32-year-old Jordan Bowers and 36-year-old Andrew Carlson. Deputies initially took them into custody on obstruction charges after they allegedly refused to cooperate with investigators. They have since, I mean, look, it looks like he's got those meth sores on him. I mean, this is just... Deputies initially took them into custody on obstruction. They have since been preliminarily charged with second-degree abandonment in connection to an incident involving another one of their children. Neither has entered a plea to the charges against them. Police have said the parents could not account for Oakley's whereabouts and also could not provide any reasonable explanation for where she might be. Authorities described the circumstances around her disappearance as suspicious and believe that Oakley is likely in grave danger. You know, isn't it weird that a story like this, I mean, I'm just hearing about it now, but it never made it into the minds of the bullhorn people. You know, like, isn't this one that probably deserved as much attention as some of these others? Later in this case, you have clear information that leads directly to the parents being involved with the disappearance. Later in a forensic interview, the girl told detectives her mother, Jordan, had told her not to talk about Oakley and that she had gone out into the woods and had been eaten by wolves. So that's basically telling the sister, you know, she's no longer alive. The Carlson family have been and continue to be fully cooperating with this investigation, it reads. Right. Carlson's parents, Oakley's grandparents, issued a statement. All right. Our only objective is to find our granddaughter, Oakley. We're praying that Oakley will be found soon, and also for the multitude of good people working around the clock to make that happen. We ask that the media respect our privacy during this very difficult time, and we do not wish to make any further statements for now. Thank you. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so then we move on to the 29th here, and just listen to this.
We're about to hear live from the former foster parents of missing 5-year-old Oakley Carlson. It's not clear if anyone outside of her family has seen Oakley in about a year. Her biological parents are in a Grays Harbor County jail this morning as police now expand their search for the 5-year-old. They're searching the sprawling 300-acre property where the parents are living near Oakville in Grays Harbor County. The parents could be formally charged with manslaughter as soon as this morning. Here's what we've learned in the last 24 hours. The Grays Harbor County Sheriff's Office says Andrew Carlson and Jordan Bowers are charged for not providing the necessary medication to another one of their daughters, Oakley's older sister, who's 6. Court documents say that sibling told a school principal on Sunday that Oakley was, quote, no more. In the days that followed, police investigated. The family was recently displaced by a fire, we've learned, and moved into a local hotel. Police and witnesses have seen the couple's other kids, but not Oakley. The parents initially told authorities Oakley was staying with grandparents, but her grandparents say they haven't seen Oakley since December of last year. Now the parents say this is the last time they've seen Oakley. That was November 30th. Last night, the community of Oakville held a vigil for Oakley. Her former foster parents say they want the Department of Children, Youth, and Families to be held accountable. And the foster mother of those two, Jamie Hohiles,
the Child Protective Services, CPS, is just god-awful in this case. I mean, just an absolutely embarrassment. This lady right here was the foster parent. Everything was great under her.
Joining us now live this morning on King 5 Mornings. This just must be heartbreaking, really. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you're with us this morning. We want to clear up a few things about this case, which is now really just coming to light in a lot of ways. Can you tell us about the circumstances of this foster care situation?
So Oakley came to us in August of 2017, and we had her until November of 2019. Throughout that time that we had her, there were multiple red flags.
So 2 years.
So there were times that I would contact CPS and say, hey, I'm concerned about this. And they would kind of say, well, we'll investigate it. We'll look into it. And even after she did go back, there were times that I would hear something in the community and I would reach out and say, I'm concerned about this. And I don't know if I never had any follow-up, which I'm not necessarily expecting there to be follow-up, but I'm just disappointed that the times that I did follow up, that there still was no kind of resolution to this. And this probably could have been avoided.
What can you tell us about why Oakley was put back into the custody of those two? What did the state tell you about why they may have been given a second chance, or whether they deserved it?
I don't know 100% as to what the state standards necessarily are. I just know in our case, once those parents started to get their acts together and be clean and show that they could, I guess, be fit parents, that just checked all of a sudden those boxes, even if it was a very fast decision to return Oakley and her siblings.
Did you feel that it was appropriate to give Oakley back?
No, and even if, so we were told in October of 2019 that she would be returning. She, at that point, hadn't had a full overnight visit yet. And by November of 2019, she was placed back permanently. That's incredibly fast on a child, and that's very traumatic to go from full-time with my husband and I to full-time with Jordan and Andrew. And so I understood, yes, she might transition back, but could we just do it slower? Could we not, can we not do it where we scare her, where she's traumatized from this? But that didn't even seem to be an option either.
And we have asked the state Department of Children, Youth, and
they went out of
Families
their way
about
to give
this. They
her
have
back
not
to the
commented
shitty parents.
To us specifically on this case. Overnight, we also learned that this couple was charged with abandonment of Oakley's older sister. What kind of warning signs have you seen in regards to that?
I personally don't know, since I didn't foster her older sister.
Okay.
But I feel that sounds pretty much right in line. That sounds pretty much right in line with the neglect. And honestly, it's sad to say that I am not surprised.
Why do you say that?
I think just because when we had Oakley, there were some red flags that I noticed with parenting. And when I would bring it up, it was just kind of they're trying their best. They're trying to do everything that they can. But I just know that if I was doing the best that I could as a foster parent, it wouldn't have been sufficient.
What do you want to say, I suppose, to
So the biological parents
the
can
state,
do worse
which clearly
want
had a
to,
role here to play? Is there a message, or should there be some other guidelines they should be following? What needs to change specifically in this case?
So what I'd like to just say is that, first off, I'm really angry and disappointed. Every day since this has started to happen, I have just grown more bitter and sad, especially reading more of the news reports and documents that have come out. I'm just sick to my stomach about it. And most of our family is too. Like, I can't tell you how many family members have been like, how could this ever happen? I think they need to completely reform. I think that they need to completely change how they're working from the ground up. And that just means that you're going to have to do more checks. You're going to have to spend more time following up on children, making sure that they're safe in the homes that you just return them to. You're going to have to not necessarily just look at a child and see, okay, yes, they're in the room. You're going to have to go look over at them and have private interviews with them and make sure, are they safe? Because you never know what that child is being told, what they can and can't talk about. Maybe they're being told to say, yeah, I'm fine. But like, I just, something was completely dropped here and it needs to be changed completely. Clearly.
So many details in this case, and we saw your community of Oakville come together last night in a vigil. So many things were said about Oakley. What was she like?
Oh my gosh, she was so fun. She loved to sing, loved to dance. I was watching some videos yesterday.
Wait a minute, she's saying was. How could she be saying was?
Yesterday of her just grooving to Barbara Ann by the Beach Boys. That was her favorite song to dance to. She just was a funny kid. Like, she would just say funny things, and just all around just a complete blessing to us.
Jamie Jo Hiles, the former foster parent of young Oakley Carlson, who is still missing as we speak this morning, the search intensifying for her. We hope that you stay with us throughout this search and throughout this process. There's so much more to learn. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's see. August 2017, Oakley is sent to live with foster parents Eric and Jamie. So that's a picture of that lady that was just talking right there.
We're about to hear live.
Okay, we already saw that. But anyways, that was their. Let me just refresh so we have that picture up there. Right, so that's her, and that's the little girl. Looked like she's really happy. I mean, look at that. God, how would you not find, if you were CPS, wouldn't you just find every way possible to let this girl stay with these people? Instead, you put them back with barbarians. You know, meth-addicted whack jobs. You know, just the worst type of people on the planet. And, well, they're the biological parents in this case. Yeah, look, I don't give a shit, man. I mean, I don't know, I'm just really angry. I don't, I don't really have any other way to explain it to you. Oakley is sent to live with foster parents Eric and Jamie Jo Hiles. Oakley's foster mom told King 5 there were multiple red flags. October 2019, Jamie Jo Hiles said the state contacted her and her husband that Oakley was going to be placed back in her parents' care. So that means 2 years and 2 months. So they, this kid was having this great, wonderful life for 2 years and 2 months. I mean, there are stories out there too where the foster parents are a nightmare as well, right? But in this case, they were anything but, and it was pretty obvious. All right, so then on November 2019, so just right there, the decision was made, and then just a month later, the little girl, Oakley, is returned to her biological parents. So that was November 2019. In December of 2020, so, a year ago, Oakley goes to her grandparents' home for Christmas with her family. During the investigation, Oakley's grandmother told police Oakley didn't look well. So again, we had somebody in the chat who always, hey, look what I know, everybody, and they have to blurt out all the information that's in an article. And we just want to, when I'm telling the stories here, wait till I'm done going through it, and then blurt out all the cool stuff that you were so amazingly knowledgeable about when we're finished with it, okay? Okay, so Oakley goes to her grandparents' home for Christmas with her family. During the investigation, Oakley's grandmother told police Oakley didn't look well, according to court documents. Oakley's grandmother told police Oakley had dark circles under her eyes. Dark circles under her eyes, pale skin, and that she had scratches or sores on her face. Oakley's grandmother called Child Protective Services, CPS, after seeing Oakley, but never heard anything about it after that time. Court documents say Oakley's grandmother contacting CPS regarding Oakley made great waves within the family, and Oakley's parents have not spoken to or seen the grandparents since then. Yeah, so they tried to help, but then you know, how sick do you have to be? You know, you've got the grandmother who comes forward caring a lot about their grandchild, tells CPS, and these idiot parents are so hell-bent on destroying that little girl's life that they cut that person out and then made it even worse for that little girl. I mean, what goes through these idiots' minds? When she was in foster care, they didn't have to pay any money or anything, you know? It's almost like, I hope there wasn't a financial reason they were given back, you know, because foster parents actually I think they do get subsidized. And they were like, well, you know, we gotta get other cases out there. You know, we only have a certain amount of funds. Let's go ahead and give her back to the monsters, you know? All right, and then February 10th, 2021, earlier in this year, Oakley was last seen alive by someone who was associated with the family, Johansson said. Investigators previously believed Oakley was last seen alive on January 27th. So February 10th, somebody said they saw her. Then in November 2021, November 6th, Andrew Carlson calls dispatch just before 5 p.m. to report a fire at the family's home. And boy, what do you think that was for? See, it's interesting too, because was this little girl still alive, hidden inside the house from February to November, and she was killed in there, and then they set the house on fire on purpose to destroy the evidence? And the body was removed, but it destroyed any of the forensic information that was in there. So Oakley was last seen alive by someone who is associated with the family on February 10th. On November 6th, Andrew Carlson calls dispatch just before 5 p.m. to report a fire at the family home earlier in the day. He told dispatchers his daughter used a cigarette lighter and caught the couch on fire, and said he put the fire out himself. Okay, he said a response wasn't needed, but wanted to report the fire. Okay, so I didn't know the fire isn't that big a deal then, I guess. But I don't know. I want to know when the girl was told, the sister was told, the wolves got her, right? And then November, that was the fire. Okay, so then Bowers had also told others Oakley had started the fire and that she and her husband fought the fire for about 4 hours. Fire investigators later confirmed there was a fire at the home, but said they believed the fire started from the microwave on the kitchen counter. November 10th, Oakville Elementary School principal Jessica Swift went to Oakley's home to bring the family supplies. A second. After the fire, and stayed at the house for about 45 minutes. When Swift asked about Oakley, her parents told Swift that Oakley was in her room. And thank you up there, LM. Appreciate it. LM! Maybe I'll turn back on the Streamlabs thing. And in November, Swift went back to Oakley's home to drop off more supplies. For what? Parents told... Okay, so the principal, Jessica Swift, went to Oakley's home to bring the family supplies after the fire and stayed at the house for about 45 minutes. When Swift asked about Oakley, so that means she wasn't around at that time, her parents told Swift that Oakley was in her room. Wow. Doesn't this sound like last night's story, right? Then on November 24th, 2021, Swift went back to Oakley's home to drop off more supplies, probably because she was worried. Swift told police, isn't that weird? I mean, why does she just keep driving stuff back over to the house as the principal? It seems like you're really just kind of concerned about the person. Swift told police she saw the other 3 children, but not Oakley, and left after about 5 minutes. So she's over there pretty much investigating. And then on December 4th, 3.5 weeks ago, Oakley's 6-year-old sibling goes to Swift's home for a play date. Oh, man. So I wonder how that came about. Did Swift, the principal, try to get her over there? When Swift asked, then Swift asked this other child about Oakley, the sibling got upset and said, "Oakley is no more." Wow. When Swift asked about Oakley again, the sibling said Oakley went to live with her foster parents that she had lived with before. Deputies later confirmed to Swift that Oakley was no longer in foster care. Why'd you change it to Crypto Will, William? I like the other name. William Zambrano. Crypto Will, not so much. Sounds so cliche, you know what I mean? It's just, so trendy. Poor William Zambrano. He can never catch a break. All right, so December 5th, Swift asked Oakley's sibling if Oakley lived with them and was told no. So that was the next day. The sibling then told Swift that Oakley was living with their former foster parents. Swift contacted the Grays Harbor County Sheriff's Office, saying she was concerned for Oakley's safety and requested a welfare check. On the 6th, the Tumwater Police Department conducted a welfare check at the hotel Oakley's family was staying at after the fire. Responding officers said Oakley was not at the hotel. Andrew Carlson told officers Oakley was with his parents, but said he didn't know his father's phone number. And now it sounds a little bit like the Daybell case regarding the little kid. Man, now my brain just didn't pick that one up really quick. I can't remember anything. Man, it's been so long since I even talked about the Daybell case. I guess that's the benefit of just talking about it every second. Man, doesn't this make you angry? The kid was doing so well in a foster situation. And sometimes there's bad situations with foster parents. But in this case, it was obvious. Yeah, that's right. Tylee and JJ. Right. Yeah, so sort of like when JJ went missing. Yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah, they're staying over at a friend's house. Officers reached out to Andrew Carlson's father, who said he had not seen Oakley since December of 2020. Andrew Carlson's father. Okay, so the grandfather. Officers reported Andrew Carlson did not seem surprised that Oakley wasn't with his parents. Officers spoke with Bowers, and she became uncooperative and refused to answer further questions and went back into the hotel room, according to the documents. After officers left the hotel, Andrew Carlson called dispatch to report Oakley missing. Officers went to the family's home after they left the hotel. After arriving at the family home, law enforcement drafted a search warrant for the residence that was approved. Hey, thank you, Andrea Ruggiero Drum. Or Andrea Ruggiero Drum. Either one. Well, we'll say it both ways. Ta-da! Thank you. Appreciate it. During a search of the family's home, toys and clothing were located for all the children except Oakley. Now it's like the Hart case. Blood was found on the blinds and the front door. Oh boy. The blinds and the front door, as well as a handprint on the wall in the downstairs hallway. Jeez. When Oakley's parents were questioned another time by law enforcement, Bowers became uncooperative and arrested for obstructing an investigation. During questioning, Andrew Carlson had limited information about Oakley's whereabouts and made statements to the effect of Oakley being dead or not coming back for a reunion. Andrew Carlson and Bowers were arrested on charges of obstruction of law enforcement and first-degree manslaughter. So they must manslaughter. I don't know, man. Look at these sick people. God, just want to take a bat and just bash their brains in. They suck. Officials continue searching the family property. The Grays Harbor County Sheriff's Office posted on Facebook asking for the public's help on December 7th. December 8, 2021, Grays Harbor Sheriff's Office detectives, Washington State Patrol troopers, and the FBI were seen searching the area around the family property, which covers about 300 acres. Video taken by King 5 shows crime scene tape at the end of the home driveway and tents set up in the yard.
The parents of missing into the
State of Washington versus Jordan Bowers.
Jordan Bowers and Andrew Carlson faced a judge this week, now facing charges of abandonment for a
bunch of losers.
But in
doesn't
claim they last saw her in November. But deputies are desperate for more tips from anyone who saw her between those times.
It is unusual
Praying
for
all
the
these
amount of
babies.
exposure this case has gathered. I thought by now we would have gotten more information on Oakley and the last time she was seen, which unfortunately makes me even more suspicious.
As they work to find that information, this community continues coming together, holding out hope.
That's what I see out of this is a hard time for everybody. It's hard to think about this for a little person, and I see the community coming together and rallying.
The Grays Harbor County Sheriff's Office announced, this is on the 9th, Bowers and Andrew Carlson face charges of abandonment of a dependent person. December 12th, Change.org petition pushing for new laws protecting foster children hits 2,000 online signatures. I think it's more like protecting children, because there's shitty foster parents too. We've seen that many times. CPS needs to do a better job, and they need to give a shit about every kid. If you're going to be a CPS worker, you can't be someone who treats it like a job. You got to be somebody that really cares about kids and is really interested in finding out what's really going on at each one of your cases that you work. Because you can have really shitty foster parents, you can have really shitty parents, and it goes either way. And it just seems like sometimes they just don't give a damn, And I'm sure they go, "That's not fair, Gray. We all can." No, bullshit, man. There are some there should never be shitty cops, right? There should never be cops that are just bad people. There should never be CPS workers that can't do their job well. It's just like teachers. If you're not a good teacher, you shouldn't be a teacher. It's too important. Lives are at stake. Okay? You have to have the best of the best, and I would pay CPS people more money, but I would get better people in there, because right now it's just an absolute it's a joke. Okay? I'm sure there's some really good ones out there, but I tell you, we've heard hundreds and hundreds of cases over the years that have some really crappy element of CPS going on. It's unbelievable. I mean, you guys remember the Hart family. Man, are you kidding me? Jeez. What's this one?
Following the case, they found nothing. King 5's Kayla Lafferty spoke with one of the creators of a petition calling on lawmakers to do something.
Fun. She had a great personality.
Stephanie Smith runs Learning to Grow Childcare in Elma. She was the daycare provider for Oakley Carlson while she was in the care of a foster family.
She was also a kid that was
I don't care if it's a judge or a CPS worker, but I guarantee a CPS worker could make a case that would be listened to. The judge might say something, but man, if you had a CPS worker really creating, there's no way in hell in this case here that this little girl should have been given back to the meth-addicted whack job parents.
Just super well adjusted. While she was in our care, played and was rambunctious and did, just all the things that you would expect of a typical healthy, thriving child.
The state returned Oakley to the care of her parents, Andrew Carlson and Jordan Bowers, before she eventually disappeared.
How does a child go unaccounted for a year?
Smith and friend Jordan Wolf started a petition on...
If you have 1,000 CPS workers and there's one bad one, that's too many. There can be 0, right? I mean, that's the reality of it. It's the same thing if you have a heart surgeon and one of them, well, he's all right. I mean, does anybody want surgery on the one? Yeah, he's okay. No, you don't. You want everybody to be competent and know what the hell they're doing, and they're good at it.
Online calling for legislative change in the wake of Oakley's disappearance. The petition, which now has more than 5,000 signatures, wants a lot.
It shouldn't be focusing in on reuniting. It should be focusing in on what's best for the kid. But there are situations where the biological parents is the best choice. This isn't one of those ones. They screwed up. They blew it. They sucked. That's the truth, and they really let that girl down, and I don't think she's alive. I mean, I think the odds of her being alive are nil.
Law passed that would create a 5-point system of support to check in on children who are returning to families after exiting the foster care system, and to mandate long-term drug testing for families who are reunited with their child.
Yeah, I believe some of
This
that.
little girl was not failed by a...
Yeah, I agree with... Oh, wait. She wasn't failed. Hold on. What's he going to say?
Child.
This little girl was not failed by a single entity, because no child should
whole
be
bunch of
supported by a single entity. And so I really feel passionately that this is not about pointing a finger at any one entity, that this is a collection of failures that we can do better by.
Smith is hopeful this is a step toward change that could save lives.
I really would like us as a society to think much broader about how are we ensuring that our most vulnerable children population, they really are being kept safe.
Well, Smith has been in contact with lawmakers about drafting a bill, and I did hear back from Representative Mike Chapman of the 24th Legislature.
Yeah. I mean, those are some good ideas, right? Once they're taken back, I would actually make it a law that once a week for months, a social worker comes out and has alone time with the child, and they talk to them and ask them how they're doing. If they even give you a hint that something bad's going on, you take them out immediately.
Legislative district. He told me he met with other lawmakers and the Department of Children, Youth, and Families today to discuss policy and budget options. Live in the newsroom, Kayla Lafferty, King 5 News.
December 15th, Oakley's grandparents, whom officers say helped with the investigation, released the following statement.
Come on. Come on. Is anyone else in there?
I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a different story. The Carlson family have been and continue to be fully cooperative. We read that one. December 17th, the Oakley law petition ends with 7,000 signatures. Representative Mike Chapman of the 24th Legislative District gave the following statement. I met with Rep. Tana Sen and staff from the Washington State Department of Children, Youth, and Families to discuss policy and budget options. We should have a better scope of solutions when we meet in January. December 30th, which is today, Oakley's biological parents are scheduled to appear in court. Oh, jeez, what?
Supporters of missing 5-year-old Oakley biological parents faced a judge. The couple's court appearance isn't directly related to Oakley's disappearance. Andrew Carlson and Jordan Bowers are facing charges of abandonment involving one of their other children.
Look at her stupid, silly face.
During today's hearing, bail was set at $150,000 each. Prosecutors expressed concern that if they got out of jail, they could interfere with the investigation into their missing daughter. Detectives are still looking for Oakley. They don't think anyone close to the family has seen her alive since February. Both will be back in court on January 10th.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it on that one. What a joke, man. Absolute tragedy. You know, it always makes me sad when you picture the little kid and how they were just kind of, you know, they had no choices on anything that's going on. They're just this little kid, and for 2 years there, she was living in a loving family, and at that moment, there was potential in her world. Then some idiot, judge or some jackass CPS worker, probably a combination, said, "Yay, we can put her back with the meth people." And they sent her over there, and almost immediately things start going downhill for that little girl. And it must have just been an absolute nightmare for her. Every day, you know, it's probably, you know, who the hell knows, but remember how her eyes got dark, she was pale. This makes me really angry. How about you guys? Yeah, sometimes you just wish society could take a baseball bat and smash their brains in over and over. Those two parents, you know, like that should be their punishment. You know, first there's a few lighter blows just to kind of make you dizzy, and then you just the bat just kind of keeps going up and down the body. You know, the same, whatever happened to the little girl should happen to them. It just sucks. A bot post? What do you mean a bot post? What do you mean? What do you mean, mods, there's a bot post? Alright, I gotta move on to the other one. I've said all I want to say. I just think that there needs to be, either direction. Sometimes foster parents are nightmares. Okay, that's happened. And adoptive parents. And the biological parents are a nightmare. That's why they were put into foster care a lot of times in the first place. So there's just got to be something done when these kids are so little. The only chance they have is relying on the good judgment of officials. And when you see stuff like this, I'm sure there's a lot of these great examples out there. You know, like great things that a CPS worker did to save the life of a child and all that. But if there's even one of these, it's way too many. It's just like the death penalty. If we've ever executed one innocent person, then you need to change everything until you get it right where there's no chance that could ever happen. You know, like I'm a pro death penalty when you get that all figured out, because the fact is prior to the DNA testing that has exonerated so many people off of death row, there were people that were executed who did not commit the crime. And we know that is an absolute fact. And just think how disgusting that is as a society, that somebody was able to sell to a jury information that would put somebody on death row, and they're executed, and it turns out they had nothing to do with it at all. Hello, dreaming girl. like the ones in California. We don't know. We don't know anything about Orson and Orrin. Who the hell knows what happened in that one? We have no clue. Everyone pretends they have a clue, but they don't. So. Bring back stoning. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Oregon's doing. I don't even follow anything that goes on in Oregon. Right. But just my opinion. All right. Wheels of justice grinding slowly on important topics. Yeah, well, this right now, our society's in a really tough place. Got a lot of crazy stuff. You know, defunding the police, all the various, you know, crazy, you know, woke bullshit that goes on out there. And it's just, we're in a really bad place. Everywhere. Not just in what we were just talking about. Everywhere. Terrible, terrible place. It's embarrassing. I mean, we're just a joke right now. Now, we're not talking about Orrin and Orson. You know, you can let all the crazy lunatic YouTubers who cover the same shit over and over, they can cover that one into oblivion. I talked about it one night and we moved on. Okay, there's nothing to talk about. You can sit there and, you know, theorize and come up with a bunch of crap, and after all this time, there's no answers. Yeah, good for you. Way to get the hell out of Oregon. Oregon is an absolute embarrassment to the world, not just the United States.
Gray, that's so mean. How could you say that about Oregon?
Like, 'cause Oregon sucks. Are you saying I'm mean? Uh-oh. Guess what, everybody? It's unfortunate for you guys. We can't get to the next story. I am now stuck in prison. For having such a slow night, I have to be thrown in jail. Yeah. Well, a lot of societies are violent. We just have guns. And we have knives. And we have everything. You know, a lot more people... Like, the thing is I'm glad that we have guns, because then you can at least protect yourself from all the other wackos who will find a way to have a gun anyways. I keep praying they get... Thank you, Andrea Ruggiero Drum. That should get me a biscuit to get out the door. Well, it doesn't even say that's for bail. I think that's just for fun. Thank you. I'm still sitting in here. Yeah, then we'll get to the cold case here in a minute. It's a pretty long one, so... I just went and found years and years of articles again, so see how that goes. Yeah, you can't crypto because you have to start over again. You started off on a... Oh, there you go. Your gypsy sent in some bail. So right now we're about 30% of a normal night. How do I get you out? You send in... sometimes people actually pay money to keep me in jail. It's weird. Oh, there we go. So Bam Forever. She got me a hotel and a ride home. And Cuckoo Bananas got me a coffee at Starbucks. And Andre Ruggiero Drum got me a biscuit while I was still in jail. That's all I could use it for because the judge hadn't sent in bail yet. All right. All right, we got up to 40%. Awesome. All right, I'm out of jail right now, and we are going to, helping out with the small amount. There you go. Thank you, Candalee Woodward Stone. All right. This is Chanty, or maybe it's Chanty Shiverdecker. Never seen that name in my life. So here we go. She went missing on December 9th, 1994. Thank you, Alice Patak.
Okay, helping out with a small amount of bail.
Well, tomorrow's the last night of the month, our final push donation night. That's the big one, and I'm going to try to be able to put another 3,000. We got to add more, 3,000 more to the bail fund. I mean, not the bail fund. I was thinking about bail. The DNA fund. Yeah, the bail fund. Man, if I got 3,000 for bail, I'd be, woo, yes. We can send in 4. Yeah, bail fund. That's it. Look at that right there. I like that little taco dancing right there. Yeah.
Bail.
Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to try to send 3,000 more in for the Identifinders Fund. I think we're at 4,000 something. We're going to get up to 7. And then next month I'll probably just send another 1,000 in. That'll take care of that. And then we'll try to send whatever, depending on how we do, another 2,000 or 3 to various charities like, the NCMEC and Texas EquiSearch. The actual Texas EquiSearch, okay, not the other one that's out there because they claim to be a different one. Yeah, that's pretty gross, LM. Dude. No, that's not my goal tomorrow. That's what my goal is, to donate tomorrow. That's what my goal is. We've already done 1,000, so I'm going to try to be able to donate 4,000 total this month from the income from the channel. Donation night, we usually bring in, like between 800 and 1,200 total. And then YouTube gets theirs, and then after taxes, it's really the whole month that makes up the difference. Yeah, EquiSearch is awesome. Yeah, so this year for those of you who are new here, if you look at the totals right here, last year we did 22,000. This year we're going to, if you took out, it'd be 39. We're going to probably be, from the channel itself, we'll be at 42.5, I'm hoping. And last year was 22. But we gave this year $4,950 to NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I think they're actually probably number one favorite, because they're out there just doing so many great things. And then Texas EquiSearch, $5,050. The Innocence Project, $1,000. They're the ones that help falsely convicted people out. Polk County Sheriff, $750. Grady Judd, for charities that he works on. And then RAIN, $5,000. And then also we just sent $500 to the Charlie Project. So there you go. Thank you, Mary Hayes and Karina. All right, so there you go. And yes, we talk about this almost on every show because I want everybody to feel a sense of, like this is what we're doing. If we didn't mention it all the time, you'd probably be like, so what's going on here? This is what's going on. We also have a guy named Jeff S. who's donated $2,500. That's part of the 42,000 because he was going to send it to me, to my PayPal, but I thought, you just send it in yourself. So I'm including that as from our channel because he also wants it underneath the channel, but it's from him. So there you go. So we have 22,000 $500 in the DNA fund and have we've funded 3 complete cases after it'll be after I send this next 3, because 2 of them cost a lot of money. There were more than, and they took there was a broker and they were taking 6% out. Now I'm sending a check straight to the Intermountain Forensics, and then they distribute it, and there's nothing's taken out at all. So that was a good thing. We lost about $1,000 through the broker, and I don't want any of that shit going to that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's get to the story here. This is the case of Chanty Shiverdecker. Okay, so she went missing on December 9th, 1994. Yeah, well, the thing on this show, every single night, we try to bring in, anywhere from 300 to, 250 to like $400. What doesn't matter. Some nights are better than others, so it makes up the difference on the bad nights. And you have to do it every single night that we do the show, which is every single night. And then when you do that, that's when we can donate. Now, I'll still donate the same percentage regardless. If we have a month where all I bring in is $4,000 total to the channel, then I'm only going to be able to donate probably, because I donate 50% of the net income from YouTube. So if we get to, let's say we only brought in $4,000 in a month, well then I'm probably only going to be able to donate maybe $1,500 or something. Right, but we've done 4,000 this month because it was bigger, and I make up the difference. Sometimes I add extra from PayPal. All right, so this took place in 1994. She went missing on December 9th, but the first article I could find was on the 14th. All right, so here we go. When Howard Shiverdecker learned Saturday that his 15-year-old daughter, Chanty, never called anyone to pick her up after basketball practice the night before, he was concerned, but figured there was an explanation. So the first warning was that she never called anyone. 15-year-old daughter, Chanty, never called anyone to pick her up after basketball practice. He was concerned, but figured there was an explanation. Thank you, Eugenie. That concern, he said, turned into worry when she failed to show up for a 4 p.m. basketball game Saturday. We knew then something was wrong. That concern, he said, turned into worry when she failed to show up for a 4 p.m. basketball game Saturday. Yeah, it seemed like you'd be way more nervous prior to that. I mean, where's your daughter? You never called anyone to pick her up after basketball practice the night before, so on Friday, and then she didn't make it to a game, and that's when he got worried. Thanks, LM. The concern, he said, turned into worry when she failed to show up for the 4 p.m. basketball game. We knew then something was wrong. Basketball is her life, said Mr. Shiverdecker, whose family just recently moved from Eureka, Illinois, to the Tallapoosa County city. Alexander City Police confirmed Tuesday that a lookout has been posted for Chanty, but declined to say whether foul play is suspected. Thanks, Tawny Lee. Linda Howell. We have 1 or 2 leads that we're following up, said, Major Baron Gregg. There's a lot of unanswered questions, and it's an unusual case. We're just hoping for the best.
Ocean wave.
Here, I'll turn that off, because now it's going to be some reading. Thank you, Linda Howell. Ocean wave, ocean wave.
Ocean wave, ocean wave.
See? Alright, so Chanty is about 5'7" and weighs about 150 pounds. She has white hair and is light-skinned, although she has blue eyes. She often wears tinted contact lenses. Anyone with information should call that number. According to police, Chanty, a sophomore, this number's no good anymore. It's only 7 digits. According to police, Chanty, a sophomore at Benjamin Russell High School, was last seen at 6:30 p.m. Friday at basketball practice on the school. Benjamin Russell High School. So where's that? Hold on a second. I thought it was a different school. I thought it was Radney Elementary, but now it's... Let's see where that is. Benjamin Russell High School. Okay, so that's different. Let's put that in there. Because they changed the name a couple times. Benjamin Russell High School. That could be the gym there. Could be. That's probably right there, though. That building. Yeah, I bet that's the gym right there. Looks like about right. Was last seen about 6:30 p.m. Friday at basketball practice on the school team. Mr. Shiverdecker, along with his wife, Chanty's stepmother, let's see, had gone, it looks like it says Chad, but had gone to Georgia to pick up a trailer for a trip back to Illinois this week. He said their son called them later that night to say Chanty never called, nor could he find her when he went out searching. Mr. Shiverdecker said he has received reports that she was seen with 2 boys Friday night at a convenience store and a Walmart, both on US 280 in Alexander City. At the Walmart, she reportedly bought a pair of pants, 2 shirts, and some snacks, but Mr. Shiverdecker said he knew she didn't have any money. He said he has also received a call from someone saying she was seen Saturday in Wetumpka. Major Gregg said he knew nothing about the report. Elmore County Sheriff Bill Franklin and Wetumpka Police Chief John T. Montgomery both said Tuesday they were unaware of any missing person that might have been seen in the area. Although Chanty planned to leave this Saturday for a holiday visit with her mother in Illinois, she has not shown up there, and Mr. Shiverdecker said it isn't likely that his daughter might have run away. Chanty has lived with him and her stepmother since she was 2 years old. Life in Alexander City seemed to be improving for Chanty since the family moved there in October. Not only had Chanty's grades improved, she also fulfilled a goal to make the varsity basketball team, even though she's legally blind, said Mr. Shiverdecker. She had no reason to run off. We get along decent at home. The closest thing we've had to an argument is trying to get her to empty the dishwasher, said Mr. Shiverdecker. That's it. And now we're moving forward. We're on the 20th now. There wasn't a ton of articles early on. So Howard Shiverdecker feared every ring of the telephone last week might bring bad news of his 15-year-old daughter, who's been missing for more than a week. But if that was bad, the telephone silence this week has been worse. Oh, well, thank you, Dreamy Girl. You didn't have to do that. Thanks. It's nerve-wracking Now you just sit and wait. That's harder than answering the telephone calls, said Mr. Shiverdecker. Alexander City Police say they have run into a dead end in their search for Chanty Shiverdecker, a sophomore at Benjamin Russell High School who was last seen December 9th. We're pursuing every lead and angle we can find, said Major Baron Gregg. We're covering ground we've already covered, so if we've missed something, then he paused, I guess. Bulletins have been put out all across the country, including Eureka, Illinois, where the Shiverdeckers lived before moving to Tallapoosa County in October. This is in Alabama here, Alexander City, Alabama. The last positive sighting of Chanty was about 6 p.m. December 9th at basketball practice, where the Benjamin Russell Lady Wildcats were preparing for a game the next day. However, there also have been reports that she was with two boys at local convenience stores and also at Walmart, where she may have purchased clothes. None of the belongings are missing from the Shiverdeckers' apartment, and Mr. Shiverdecker said she had no money when she left home for school that morning. Mr. Shiverdecker remains convinced that his daughter, who he said seemed happy in the city, did not leave on her own. I can't believe she would do that and not call somebody if she's done this on purpose, Mr. Shiverdecker said. Chanty is about 5'7" and weighs about 150 pounds. She has white hair and is light-skinned. She has blue eyes but wears teal-colored contact lenses. She also is legally blind and can't see beyond short distances. Anyone with information should contact the police. Of course, the number by now isn't going to be a good one. And now we're on to the 22nd. Sarah Aldrich just wants to know that her friend Chanty is okay. I want to know where she is, and I want her home, says Sarah, 16, a sophomore at Eureka High School. Chanty Shiverdecker, 15, moved with her family from Eureka to Alexander City, Alabama in October. She had been missing since December 9th. The Alexander City Police don't know where she is, whether the girl ran away or was abducted, whether she is still in Alexander City or 1,000 miles away. Thank you, Georgina Stoliker. I wish I had some good positive news to report, said Chief Lynn Royal, but there is no evidence pointing in any definitive direction. Chanty was at basketball practice that Friday night and was supposed to call her brother, Chris, 17, at about 8 p.m. All right, so you're supposed to call him at 8 to come get her. When she failed to do so, Chris called several acquaintances looking for his sister. He went to police at about 2 a.m. Saturday when he could not find her, according to the Alexander City Outlook. Well, that's pretty interesting. So it was kind of like the parents were out of town doing something, and then he was supposed to pick her up, and then he looked around, got really worried, and even on his own went to the police at 2 a.m. Chanty and Chris's father, however, Howard, and stepmother Gloria were out of town Friday night. Yeah, so there it is. Chanty and Chris's father, Howard, and stepmother. I'm not sure why it says Chanty and Chris's father, Howard, and stepmother Gloria were out of town. She wasn't out of town. But returned when they heard Chanty was missing, according to the Outlook. Witnesses reported seeing Chanty in Alexander City department store. That probably isn't true. Other witnesses said they saw Chanty in a convenience store. Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, look, I see, they don't see anything, but they say they see something. I actually think a lot of times it's just people want to be relevant. It's the same thing you see in some of these big cases. Hey, should I turn this tip in? And it's just some random face they find on Facebook. According to one version of the young man she was reportedly cited with is missing as well. In another story, she's being held in a trailer park. Yeah. I hear different things from different people. I'm just confused, said Sarah. It's just weird. I didn't think it would happen to one of my friends, but it did. Sarah is certain Chanty did not run away. She wouldn't run away because, number one, she's not like that at all, said Sarah. And number two, she could have come back here any time she wanted. Sarah and Chanty had the choice to stay with her mother. Sarah said Chanty had the choice to stay with her mother in rural Bloomington or go to Alabama with her father and stepmother. And although she gets along with her mother, Chanty chose to move. Sarah also pointed out Chanty seems happy there. In a letter she recently received from Chanty, the teen gave Sarah a list of the new friends she had met and the classes she was taking. Chanty's grades had gone from C's and D's to at EHS to A's and B's, her stepfather told the Outlook, and she had made the basketball team. In addition, Chanty and Chris were about to make a trip to Illinois to visit their mother and friends for the holiday. Glory told Outlook her stepdaughter did not have money with her, and none of her clothes or overnight bags are missing. Chanty, she added, is cautious about going places with unfamiliar people. Sarah describes her friend as fun and friendly, adding sometimes she can be stubborn. If she did run away, I'll be very mad at Sarah. That's what all her friends are saying. What's it say? Saying up here. Okay. The Eureka High School Guidance Department is concerned about the emotional state of Chanty's friends as they try to deal with the news. For everyone, it's a waiting game to see how the situation ends, but it turns out to be a tragedy. The school is ready with crisis tragedy intervention plan, according to the Dean of Students, Dave Mingus. The plan already in place at the school calls for counseling, etc., etc. So anyways, everybody's looking for her at this point. And then December 29th, former Eureka girl still missing. She moved to Alabama from Eureka. Police Chief Lynn Royal said he has no firm evidence supporting the idea that Shiverdecker ran away, but none to conclude foul play is involved. Family and friends in the Alabama and Illinois believe she would not run away. In a letter to Sarah Aldrich, 16, Eureka, a friend of Shiverdecker, the teen listed a group of friends she had met at her new school. That letter and others from Shiverdecker to friends at Eureka High School have been examined by Royal, who agrees the letter appeared to indicate Shiverdecker was happy in her new home. The family spent the Christmas holiday split up and working towards finding Shiverdecker. The family also placed a message to Shiverdecker through media outlets. Dear Chanty, we're very worried about you. If for some reason you are afraid to call or come home, please don't be. We love you, and nothing you have done or anyone has done to you is as bad as we have felt while you've been gone. We love you and just want you home safe with us. If you don't want to talk to us, then just call anyone collect. We are praying for your safe return. We love you. And signed Dad, Mom, Chris, Levi, Spunky, Mommy, Tina Lee, and the family. And then, that was, so now we're in January now, the 15th of January, so over like 5 weeks later. Searchers looking for missing girl. It was as much sweat as drops from damp underbrush that stained Howard Shiverdecker's baseball cap. Panning through pines and post oaks, he was trudging through the woods south of the city Saturday in search of his 15-year-old daughter, Chanty, who had been missing since early December. He was not alone. More than 70 volunteers, including members of the Alexander Rescue Squad and Trinity United Methodist Church, either stalked the brush beside him or were fanned out on similar terrain in other parts of Tallapoosa. Every time they look and they don't find her, it's a relief. Chanty has white hair, blue eyes, and is about 5'7". The last confirmed sighting of Chanty, a sophomore at Benjamin Russell High School, was about 6 p.m. December 11th at basketball practice. So now it says at Radney School. You see how that's not the same school? However, 4 people say they believe they saw her at a nearby Walmart. Another person said she came into a North Alexander City convenience store. Although Alexander City Police did not take part in Saturday's search, they did conduct an aerial survey near Hillaby Creek. Let me see what the next... Yeah, so we got the second part of that article. So here's a bunch of people looking right here. Saturday call for community response and aiding the Shiverdeckers was good. The Reverend Mr. Denson admits while neither he nor the Shiverdeckers favor the use of psychics, oh boy, it's at least more information. No, it's not more information, it's more bullshit. Okay. The way I feel is if I were in their shoes and it was my child that was missing and we had no leads, I'd probably turn to the blood-sucking psychics. Because they offered help. See, that's what happens. When there's no more leads and it looks cold and nobody's finding anybody, that's when the psychics come out and turn into blood-sucking wackos. I'd probably do the same thing. I don't fault them for that. Lowell Guy, president of the rescue squad, said searchers by that group in the past 3 weeks have focused on areas near bridges and creeks. We're just following out any leads or ideas, Mr. Guy said. Searchers last week found a pair of girls' panties that matched the size and brand that Chanty wore and have turned them over to a forensic lab. The panties were found west of the city in an area frequented by teenagers. Mr. Shiverdecker said police are even looking at him as his family as possible suspects. Police have asked family members to take lie detector tests. The Shiverdeckers, originally from Illinois, moved to Alexander City in October to fulfill Mr. Shiverdecker's dream to open a combination golf and fishing shop. He said the family will stay in Alexander City even if the worst happens. The community has been just great, he said. Somebody the other day asked me where was my home. I told them it's right here. I'm not going to move no matter how this thing turns out. Yeah, and then we've got, there was this rumor article. I want to see what they were saying. Now, they don't help ever, Patty. That's the truth. I know people want to believe that they help. But all they're really doing is they're just somebody like me who can think through a case and come up with ideas that are reasonable, and it turns out sometimes those are right. There was never a ghost or a goblin or any kind of divine message sent to them. Okay, that's just the truth. So let's just all realize that and shun and avoid. What's the great idea, Andrea? Yeah. So here we go. Family and friends are still searching for a missing Alabama girl, while the police look at every clue available. According to reports in the Outlook, Alexander City, Alabama, must also contend with rumors about the fate of the girl missing for over a month. Oh yeah, it's kind of cool because that's exactly what I like to do, golf and fishing. Thought that was pretty cool. Chanti Shiverdecker, 15, a former Eureka resident, has been missing from Alexander City since Friday, December 9th, when she failed to call her family for a ride home following basketball practice. She moved to Alabama from Eureka in October with her family. Alexander City Police Chief Lynn Royal said the situation doesn't look good, given the amount of time Shiverdecker has been missing. The longer a person is missing, the worse it appears to us, said Royal. Usually by this time, if a person had left on her own, she would have contacted somebody, a friend or a family. Police have little evidence, but are using every available means to search for the teenagers. We've had the National Guard out here with helicopters that have sophisticated equipment that could spot bodies or fresh graves. No new information was garnered through the helicopter search. A community search was also conducted recently in the rural area surrounding Alexander City. The area of the search was guided by information given by 2 psychics, consulted on the case by the family. Yeah, and guess what? Yeah, it didn't pan out. Hey, no problem, Mary Hayes. Methodist Church, and I hope you get better from your COVID. Shanty's father, Howard Shiverdecker, said he was somewhat relieved the search turned up nothing since the search was for a body. It makes you feel better that there might be a chance, a positive chance, Shiverdecker told Melanie Jones of the Observer. There's a chance that she's alive somewhere. In the meantime, both police and the family have had to contend with conflicting rumors about the fate of the teen. Thanks, Lee D. That'll buy me about half a Snickers at the local store once we do the conversion to U.S. Oh, man. Most of the rumors claim Chanty was found dead, and many include accusations that a family members killed the girl. Let's see, let me do that one. Lee D. That's funny. All right. Shiverdecker told the Observer of the 3 calls he received on the subject. One person implicated his wife. They hurt as much as anything, he said. It makes you think, how could anyone be so sick as to start something like that? Yeah, I'm just teasing Lee D. She's the one that always does the negative bail. Royal said the rumors are numerous and varied, so it's hard to find the origins of them. He told the Observer he and other members of his department have received phone calls and at their homes on the subject. No one has been arrested in the case. Yeah, so there you go. Look at Lee D. Come on. So that was an article on the 26th of January. And then on February 26th, exactly 1 month later, welcome, Karina. Body found in Alabama, ex-area girl. I don't know what that's such a dumb wording. Who the hell would even know what that meant? A body found Friday in Alabama was identified Saturday as that of a former Eureka teenager missing since December 9th. The body found in Coosa County was positively identified by a forensics lab as Chanti Shiverdecker, 15, according to Brett Oakes of the Coosa County Sheriff's Department. Shiverdecker moved in October with her family from Eureka to Alexander City, Alabama. Her body was found near her home, but the exact location was not disclosed by the Alexander City Police Department. The Alex City Police had a missing persons case which had been solved, Oakes said. Now we have a possible homicide, but we don't even know that yet. Thank you, Zozo. The cause of death has not been determined, Oakes said. The department would not release any other information. Shiverdecker was at basketball practice on December 9th when she failed to call her for a ride home at 8 p.m. I'm just trying to figure out how that worked. She's at basketball practice How could she just be abducted? I mean, what are all the people at the basketball practice? What do they say? Did she get a ride with somebody else? Thank you, Andrea Rogero Drum. Her brother called several acquaintances. He went to the police at 2 a.m. Witnesses reported seeing her about 8 p.m. at an Alexander City department store with a young man thought to be her boyfriend and his brother. Detective Steve Morgan of the Alexander City Police said the report was not confirmed and the two juveniles and their family would not cooperate with the investigation. That's kind of weird. Alright, I gotta go use the restroom for a second, so I'll turn that up. Yep, there's Lee D again with an upside down face. Awesome. I want another one. Awesome. Thank you. Georgina Stoliker. It's all the same. Oh man. Alright. Alright, so we're back to this, so right now we know she was at basketball practice. Thank you, living it, as in living the dream. She was at basketball practice. She's not somebody that would have ran away. She just disappeared. She was supposed to call her brother at 8. She never called, so he started calling around, and then eventually he was looking for her, and then he called police at 2 a.m. And then, what if the brother, is a brother a stepbrother? Or, Is it her biological brother or stepbrother? Because it's weird, you know, the parents are out of town and this happens on that exact time that they're out of town. How do they know he didn't pick her up, I guess? Yeah, kind of interesting. Just thought of that. Three days after an anonymous caller pointed lawmen, to the body of 15-year-old Chanti Shiverdecker, her father was buying 5 plots at a local cemetery. 5 plots. 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 5 plo One is for Chanty, who had been missing since December 9th. The other are for 4 surviving members of the Shiverdecker family who moved to Tallapoosa County City less than 2 months before Chanty disappeared. This is where we planned. So that's right, because that's her stepfather. No, that's her father, and she's with the stepmother. But did the mother have other children the dad, wait, hold on. So her dad's her biological dad. So did the mother come to that relationship with children of her own? Yeah. This is where we plan to be. This is home, said Chanty's father, Howard Shiverdecker, who moved to the area from Eureka. Man, would any of you like to already have a grave plot? So just sort of sitting somewhere where you can go look at it? Man, I don't like thinking about shit like that. This is where we plan to be. This is home. Chanty's badly decomposed body was found at about 5 p.m. Friday off Alabama 9 in adjoining Coosa County after an anonymous caller directed officials there. Her body was discovered in a ditch inside an abandoned wood yard about 5 miles south of Alexander City. I wouldn't want any of that shit. Ugh, God, that's sick. Yeah. So they said it was off of Alabama 9, right? Okay, wow, that's right there. So down in this area somewhere? So they're saying 5 miles south of. So that's miles. So shit, it's hard to say because this is already so Highway 9's over here. It's more like west. You know, they make it sound like off Alabama 9 in adjoining Coosa County after an anonymous caller directed officials there. Her body was discovered in a ditch inside an abandoned wood yard about 5 miles south of Alexander City. Well, that's Alexander City, and south, you know, it's more west than anything. Here, I'll just put something here for now. Thanks, Lee D. Is that a devil face? Yeah, that's right, Paulette. I think everybody should be required to be cremated. You know, we're just like, I mean, after we have, like, you know, in 100 years, is there going to be land left if everybody gets buried? I mean, why not just get cremated and you have like a little ceremony and you get tossed into the ocean or something, and then you get added back to the rest of it. I mean, my God, it's you're not going to feel anything. I mean, yeah, it's cheaper. It's, you know, I mean, it's kind of weird if you think about it. You got this body inside of a casket, and it just becomes more and more of a skeleton. And you know, why don't we look at it like this? The casket locks in your soul. It can never actually escape. Well, if you think your soul's already left, then why do you care if your body's in that casket? You get what I'm saying? I'm just trying to use a little bit of logic there. Yeah, how about just you feed yourself to a fish, like your ashes, right? And you just sort of throw it into a fish tank with a betta, maybe some goldfish, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then maybe you release them into the wild, and you just kind of become part of the. Yeah. Just things to think about, everybody.
Gosh, did you hear Gray? I wanted to get buried in a coffin. I said to get cremated.
All right, look at it. It was just an idea, okay? I didn't say you had to do anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see? Well, you bawled and cried for nothing. All right, here we go. I don't know. I was thinking of maybe just getting sandblasted, You're not alive, they strap you to a board and just get a sandblaster out. Does that make sense? There you go, see? Hey, welcome, Ink Twin 9, to Megazoid.
Megazoid.
Wow, did you hear that? That was unbelievable.
Yarg.
That sounded kind of weak, Mary Lou.
That was me, Timmy, not Mary Lou. Yeah, Gray, that was Timmy, not me. Yarg.
Yarg.
Yeah, see, it just doesn't sound. It's not very good there, Mary Lou.
Oh, it wasn't me. See, that was Timmy and John Boy.
Okay, sorry. Here we go. Yeah, I know the apple isn't up. I just got to eat an apple by my, anyways. I figure if you guys want to help me out, you can help out the channel. I don't want to do an apple tonight. I've seen bodies. Well, I'm sure you have, Kit. That's your gig. I'm still waiting for you to come back with really straight dark hair, very dark mascara, and sort of like intentionally pale makeup. Thank you, Kathy Freudenmaker. Yeah, you might not be able to imagine being mummified, but you know what I could imagine is recreational mummification. Yeah, that's one of my best sarcastic videos that I've ever made. Recreational mummification. It's good times, everybody. If you haven't tried recreational mummification, you should give it a whirl sometimes. No, I didn't catch anything that you said other than the word mummification. Yeah, don't you remember the recreational mummification? Where the guy died because he got wrapped in plastic. And he got wrapped in plastic and he You know, he died from recreational mummification. It was really ridiculous. Okay. Thank you, Georgina Stoliker. What happened, Kit? Oh yeah. All right, so let's see. So we got this is where we plan to live. Remember, the dad said that. Chanty's badly decomposed body was found at 5 p.m. Friday off Alabama 9. We'll see if we can get more information on that later. While lawmen suspect homicide, they're waiting for results from a state forensic lab in Montgomery before issuing any statement, said Alexander City Police. Major Gregg said no one has been questioned by police since the discovery of the body. We don't know what we've got. It's being treated as a murder. Sheriff Evans said the body was found in a wooded area about 120 yards off the highway and just behind an abandoned mobile home. He said Chanty's body had probably been there since her disappearance. We've got her back. You know that she's probably been with God the whole time, said Mr. Shiverdecker. Mr. Shiverdecker said the family plans a memorial service this weekend in Illinois. Sheriff Evans said officials believe they know who made the anonymous call, but don't think he was involved with Chanty's disappearance. This person wouldn't be involved in the murder, but just didn't want to get tangled up in the investigation. The discovery followed several weeks of searches by Alexander City Police and volunteers who combed sections of Tallapoosa. The last confirmed sighting of the Benjamin Russell High School sophomore was following basketball practice at Radney Middle School. So now I think they've got that information. So this is the high school she went to, but apparently she had basketball practice at, where the hell is it? Yeah, right there. So this is where basketball practice was, at this school, even though high school was over here. And a lot of times, you might do that if, the men's varsity needs to practice that same day, or there's a game. Maybe they're over practicing at, Radney School. I mean, that's just kind of the way it is. What are you guys doing over there? Which is just east of the intersection of Alabama Highway 9 and 22. Let's see if that makes sense. Just east of the intersection, there's 22, and they said just east of Highway 9 and 22. Is it really? Highway 9 and 22. So there is 22. Well, where the hell is Highway 9 in the town here? Does it wind up around? It's Alabama 9, and that doesn't make any sense. God, I hate shit like that. That doesn't make any sense at all. Just east of the intersection of Alabama Highways 9 and 22. Well, there isn't an intersection of 22 and 9 unless you go way over here. Okay, well, let's see. Let me go back and see what they're saying here. A school which is just east of the intersection of Alabama Highways 9 and 22. So they're saying that at one point there was a school right here. Because there it is. There's 22 and 9. So they're saying just east. So would have been here, kind of where the school was. But man, I don't think there was ever a school there. Highway 9 and 22. All right, let's go back in time to, they even have a 1997 map. All right, let's try one 2006. Yeah, I don't know. Something doesn't really make sense there. Because that school is right here. I mean, if you'd said east of that highway and 22, that would make sense, right? Well, I guess this one. But they said the intersection of 9 and 22, which is right here. And it doesn't look like there's ever been a school in that area. Unless somebody can, you know, if you want to go back and look up an address for Chanty. Is that the name of it? No, not Chanty. Radney Middle School in Alexander City. So Radney Middle School, Alexander City. If you can find that, let me know. Hey, thank you, Dodie D, for becoming a Oogla Boogla freak. This is confusing. The last confirmed sighting of the Benjamin Russell High School sophomore was following basketball practice at Radney Middle School, which is just east of the intersection of Alabama Highways 9 and 22. She played on the Benjamin Russell girls basketball team. Some witnesses had told the Shiverdecker family that they saw Chanty that night at the convenience store, blah, 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 blah. The Shiverdeckers moved to Alexander City on a whim. Mr. Shiverdecker said earlier, never having seen the city, the family packed its bags in October and moved there to fulfill Mr. Shiverdecker's dreams of opening his own shop. He said the city was chosen because of its proximity to Lake Martin. The move seemed to be a good change for Chanty, said Mr. Shiverdecker, who is a commercial truck driver. Her grades had improved. Everything was getting better. Mr. Shiverdecker said the city has shown its value during the search for Chanty. The community has been great. We've had so much support. I'm not blaming the city for this. This could have happened in Eureka. He's such a positive sounding person. And usually people are like, you know, they get bitter over that kind of stuff. Teen remembered as adventurous, good friend. The body of 15-year-old, originally from Eureka, was found February 24th, 10 miles from where she disappeared following basketball practice in Alexander, Alabama on December 9th. She had moved there from Eureka in October. The cause of death is not known yet. Among those crowding the Narthex area are 7 girls, all sophomores in high school, who are carrying flowers, 2 single carnations each, and straightening their dresses. So this is before the event happened. So this is really just about the service and the setup to the service. And then over here it says, shortly before 7 p.m. Thursday night, it is apparent the 200-plus capacity sanctuary will not hold all the people wanting to show their respects. Extra chairs were brought in to accommodate much of the overflow. 5 of the girls are sitting in their seats, reserved by the family in the front pew. So they're just really going to, I don't really want to go over this because it's just kind of about how the memorial service went. And so let's get to, we're going to go to March 23rd of 1995. Autopsy report sheds little light on teen's murder. The Alabama State Forensic Department has released the autopsy report on Chanti Shiverdecker, the 15-year-old former Eureka resident whose body was found 2 months after she disappeared from Alexander City, Alabama. However, it sheds little light on what happened to the teen according to the Alexander City record. The official report filed by Dr. James Lauridsen, medical examiner, shows the cause of death as homicidal violence. But according to Alexander City Police Chief Lynn Royal, homicidal violence is used when the medical examiner cannot determine an exact cause of death. He said the fact the body was not clothed, didn't know that, along with her disappearance, and that her body was found contributed to the conclusion. Royal said, along with her disappearance, he said the fact that the body was not clothed along with her disappearance and where the body was found contributed to the conclusion. Royal said the report does not rule out possible forms of violence such as stabbing or head injury. Shiverdecker's body was discovered near an abandoned woodyard on February 24th, about 10 miles from where she was last seen on December 9th. After basketball practice, she had moved to Alabama with her family in October. So I'm wondering, like, if we go here, here's the school. So let's do 10 miles from here and see if it makes sense. So if you actually, the killer, this is the route that somebody would probably drive to get there. So let's see, hold on. I don't know if it's gonna work. That's already at 4, ding, ding, and then down here, this is Highway 9. And that's 10 miles right there. So somewhere maybe around in this place. I'm just going to put that there just for the heck of it and see what happens later. That doesn't mean, that makes it not south anymore, but yeah, we'll see. Anyways, I guess there's probably another way if you drove that way. Let me try that one too. Hold on. So if you drove this direction, you took 22 after the basketball practice, the killer, and you cut across like this. Thank you, Ink Twin 9. So right now we're at 4.74. I bet this is the more accurate way to figure this out. Let's see. That's 8.75. 9. Alright, that's 10. That's my other guess. I think that one makes more sense because now we're south. I'm actually going to get rid of that one. I don't think that's it at all. I think if anything, that's going to be where the body, right around in this area, and they drove straight down 22, and that newspaper accidentally gave a description more accurately of where the body was found, not where the basketball practice was, because there's definitely was never a school out in the middle of nowhere like that. So there you go. Just trying to, I could be wrong, don't know, but Department, Coosa County Sheriff's Department, and Alabama Bureau of Investigations are working together on the case. A memorial fund in Chanti Shiverdecker's name has been established. Several Eureka businessmen allowed canisters to be placed at their counters, and a total of $965 has been collected. Yeah. All right. So this is kind of interesting. This was another month later, and now we've got something just in some weird thrown aside article. It wasn't a big one. Authorities say they found a notebook and purse that belonged to an Illinois teenager who was abducted and killed in Alabama. Chanti Shiverdecker's nude body was found in an abandoned lumber yard near Alexander City in February. Authorities searched the area along Highway 9 extensively, but found only shoes and some textbooks. But members of an Earth Day cleanup found the notebook on Saturday. During another search of the area on Monday, authorities found a purse they say belonged to the girl. Shiverdecker moved with her family from Illinois to Alexander City in October. She was reported missing in December. They said 200 yards. Abandoned lumber yard. I wonder if there's a way to figure out where a lumber yard might have been, maybe in the newspaper. I mean, this is 1997 right here. This is March of 2021. Okay, and then about 7 months later in December, memorials pay tribute to Alexander City girl. So this looks like maybe that's at the crime scene. Among the street-line display of Christmas season memorials at the Charles E. Bailey Sportsplex is one for Chanti Shiverdecker, so maybe not. Fringed by, well, let's see, what's that called? Charles E. Bailey Sportsplex. Okay, that's right near the Radney School. Okay. We don't know that. The memorial are intended only as a tribute to the 15-year-old girl. As far as reminders of his daughter, Howard Shiverdecker doesn't need markers. They are etched in his mind. You think about her every day, there's no way around it. You'll be riding down the road and all of a sudden she just pops into your head. It was a year ago today that the sophomore at Benjamin Russell High School went missing, although her body was found several months later near the site where the cross is now. Her disappearance remains as much a mystery today as it did then. It's still a whodunit for us, said Major Baron Gregg of the Alexander City Police Department. In a case ripe with rumor and hearsay, Alex City Police and Coosa County deputies said they have run into dead end in their attempts to solve what officials believe was a homicide. We don't have a suspect at this time. Those people that have been questioned have been eliminated as being suspects, said Major Gregg, who could not recall how many people had been questioned. An autopsy was performed by state forensic scientists when the body was discovered in late February, but it was too badly decomposed. Probably it was strangulation. And that wouldn't have left many marks. And people go, well, the hyoid bone. Well, it doesn't always break the hyoid bone. Hyoid bone. Man, say hyoid bone quick 3 times. And if you say you did it, you're lying. Okay?
No, Gray, I really did it, Jay. Can't you just believe me?
No, I cannot. It was Friday night when Chanty disappeared, and an expected call to her brother to come pick her up from basketball practice never came. Her father and stepmother were in Georgia at the time. Wait, hold on. It was Friday night when Chanty disappeared and expected a call from her brother. Now, I want to know if this is a stepbrother here. To come pick her up from basketball practice never came. It just makes it a little bit more plausible that something else happened here, and maybe she really was picked up. See what I'm saying? Her father and stepmother were in Georgia at the time, but they came back to Alexander City the next morning when they heard Chanty failed to show up at home. No, you didn't live in it. You're lying. All in all, it seemed a bad beginning for the family that had pulled up stakes in Illinois and on a whim moved to Alexander City 2 months earlier. The Shiverdeckers had chosen Alexander City out of a handful of other potential southern communities near lakes. It was there where Mr. Shiverdecker, tired of the long hauls as a truck driver, intended to open a combination golf and fishing shop. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so this is a map. So let's see if we can figure out where some of this is on this map here. Huh, that's weird too, because her belongings were found quite a ways away from where she was found. But it looks like, so there's 22 and 9, and it looks like it's almost exactly where we just put it a few minutes ago. I don't even remember what you're supposed to try to... Yeah. Hyoid bone. Hyoid bone. Boop. Come on, you guys. Do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hyoid bone. Hyoid bone. Hey, I just did it.
No, you couldn't, Gray. You couldn't have done it. It's impossible.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Gilligan, you can't fly. Oh. Well, good for you. My mouth can't do certain combinations of sounds. Come on, live in it. You're gonna have to send me verifiable proof. There you go. Right, that's what I keep saying. Hyoid bone. That's exactly right. There you go. That's exactly how I keep saying it. I think you're going to need to send me an audio clip, live in it, and I'm going to play it on the air. I actually believe you. I'm just kidding around. I don't really care. Yes, everybody, hit the thumbs up. Even you, live in it, hit that thumbs up button.
Why should she, Gray? You said you didn't believe her.
I was just goofing around. Who cares? All I know is I can't do it. And if I can't do it, wow, there is no chance any of you could do it. That's called sarcasm, right? What did Dan Carr put in there? Yeah, that's exactly right. Hyoid bone. That's exactly what I've said like 4 times. I couldn't say it the other way. 282. Watch out. Only 193 likes. Oh, man. Come on, you guys. Hit that damn like button, would you? All right. Where is it? All right, here we go. Hit that like button. Come on, come on.
I'm tired of
Hit that like button, 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 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, hit that like button, 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 hit that like button,
30, now 5, I'm 35.
Yes, I need audio proof. Absolutely need it. Where is it? Oh, hold on a second. Whoa! All right, here we go. Blood glucose. Blood glucose. Yeah, you want to say glucose. That's right. Blood glucose. Blood glucose. Ah. I can't do it. I think I'm linguistically challenged. That's my problem. All right. Well, anyways, let's take a look at this right here. Let's see. Well, you know what's amazing is now that I'm looking at this, watch this. They actually have it right. I think that was the right way, the way we did that, because if you look at this map right here, here, see that right there? I don't know if you can see that, but see how there's the intersection of 22 and 9, and then the road starts curving out, and it's just to the right of where it starts to break off to the left, and so that would be almost exactly where we have it right here, and so that is how they measured it, and that's why I was pretty certain right there. So it's about like right over here, and they said it was wouldn't they say 200 yards at one point in one of the other articles? Hold on. So let's just go right there, and then yeah, so there's like 200 yards ish. I wonder if that was it a long time ago. Yeah, it's just out in the middle of nowhere, really. I mean, it's all right. And then the, you know, it's pretty interesting where they said they were finding the backpack, because that's nowhere near there. I thought it was going to be kind of in the same place, but we have this 280 up here. And I guess we could look at 9. So it's like we're 9 and 280 perhaps meet up there. Let's see. Come on, jeez. There's 9 and there's 280, yep. So that was found right here, they're saying. So right in this area is where her belongings were found. So that seems like that was put there on the way out. Okay? Because I think the killer probably, you know, got her at the school, went this way, killed her, and, you know, maybe even, you know, inside it, he took her belongings with him in the car, and then maybe on the way out dumped them here. And maybe that was put there to throw people off, and then maybe at that point drove back into the town, or, you know, went completely a different direction altogether. See what I'm saying? Right. I think it's barely ever fractured. People just say, oh, yeah. They always talk that. Well, did it have a broken eye? Well, probably not. A lot of times you can just get smothered or you're strangled in a different height somewhere. Maybe in like manual strangulation that happens more often. All right, here we go. Eight-years old Levi Shiverdecker crowds a kitchen table with a few of the numerous trophies he has won in archery tournaments. It's an activity that he and his father, Howard Shiverdecker, have taken up together in the past year. He loves to shoot, and he's really good. It's scary. He's as good as he is, said Mr. Shiverdecker, nothing that Levi once got 6 bullseyes in a row during a shooting match. Noting that, not nothing. Then Mr. Shiverdecker's voice momentarily trails off into a subdued tone, and his eyes gaze down, reflecting at the table. Chanty would have enjoyed it, he said solemnly, before his voice picked up again. I think maybe she would have taken up bow shooting because she likes athletics. But 15-year-old Chanti Shiverdecker isn't here. On December 9, 1994, the high school sophomore finished basketball practice and became a mystery. Although her body and some of her belongings were recovered about a year later, Alexander City police say the mystery remains unsolved except to the person or people responsible for her death. There's not a day that goes by that you don't think about her, says Mr. Shiverdecker. Police Chief Lynn Royal says he knows the frustration. Since the case was opened, investigators who met at as recently as Wednesday to discuss the matter have compiled a 1,500-page folder on Chanty. None of it, Chief Royal says, points to who did it. Chanty, who was a member of the Benjamin Russell High School girls basketball team, finished practice at Radney School just south of US 280. So now we've got the right directions. That Friday night. However, the telephone call to her brother, Chris, who was 16 at the time, to come pick her up. Okay, so they keep saying it's just his brother. To come pick her up never came. He and Chanty's stepmother, Gloria, and Levi, then 6, were in Georgia. When Chanty didn't show up for basketball game, I mean, it's so weird that it happened right when the parents are gone. You know, that part's a little bit weird to me. And you got, I mean, this is just speculation, but the 16-year-old who's driving, if it's not her biological brother, you know, you could sort of picture some weird thing going on where he did pick her up and, you know, he comes home and reports her missing at 2 a.m. You know, do you get what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just speculation there, but that's an unusual, the timing is very suspicious to me. You know, it's very weird to me that right when the two parents are out of sight, they're out of town, they're in Georgia, and with other family members as well, and there's really just like the 16-year-old and her at home, and he's the one that's supposed to pick her up. And that on that very night, she gets abducted by some random person. I don't know. That part's weird to me. So that's just speculation, totally, you know, just based on how the timing is weird. So the only person that would actually know the timing would be a family member, right? And, you know, perhaps somebody, another one of the girls at practice. Local churches and volunteer groups conducted searches but turned up nothing. Then February 25th, 1995, an anonymous caller told state troopers about a body in Coosa County. The body discovered in a wooded area near Alabama Highway 9 and 22 was Chanty. So that's what that reporter did in that previous article. They were saying the school was at 9 and 22 when that's actually where the crime scene was. Because of the condition of mainly skeletal remains, officials have been unable to determine a cause of death. About 2 months later, a church group participating in Earth Day cleanup program found one of Chanty's school books near Alabama 9 and 280. A few days later, authorities found Chanty's purse in the same area. Other than rumors, police have found nothing since. We certainly haven't given up. There are not as many leads coming to our attention. Billboards with Chanty's picture were posted recently for about a month along US 280. The Shiverdeckers, meanwhile, she's very recognizable, right? With her white hair and, very light skin, and almost like albino almost, Unsolved Mysteries told us we didn't have enough information for them to do a segment. The family also has turned to the Tallapoosa County Sheriff's Department for additional assistance. Everything seemed to be going well, especially for Chanty. Her grades improved from C's and D's to A's and B's, and despite being legally blind, she made the girls' varsity basketball team. She couldn't shoot from more than 5 feet away, but that was just a joke. Okay. 6 weeks after the family moved into the apartment, and only a few weeks after Mr. Shiverdecker joined them, Chanty disappeared. So wait, 6 weeks after the family moved into an apartment, and only a few weeks after Mr. Shiverdecker joined them, Chanty disappeared. The family moved in an apartment. So the mother, the stepmother, that doesn't make any sense. So 6 weeks after the family moved into an apartment, and only a few weeks, so that means the stepmother was living in the apartment at first with Chanty and maybe some other stepbrothers, and then Mr. Shiverdecker came 3 weeks into that. He does not regret the decision to move to Alexander City. Let me see, because I think I actually found there was a couple homes. There was a possible home, but I think it was this one here. And that doesn't look like an apartment, but that's definitely one of the ones that he was listed as living at. That doesn't look like an apartment. So that's one of the houses right there. And then there's another one. I wonder if that other one that was also listed as 1995, is that an apartment? Oh, there you go. So this is the one where they were living at the time. There's no street view there, but this is the one that it looks like an apartment complex. So this is the one I thought was secondary to the other, but I think this is where they were probably living at that time, right there. And then she went to school at Benjamin Russell High School. Basketball practice was here at Radney School. And then months later, after practice, she disappeared. She was supposed to have her brother pick her up at 8. And then months later, her body was found right here at like an old mill of some sort. And then her belongings were found in this area. Oddly. Alright, let me see. I'm trying to get to the more recent one. Then there's a 1997. Well, okay, this is weird. In 1997, there was a serial killer that admitted to it. Possible serial killer confesses. And this is Clark Allen Morris. So let's see. Clark Allen Morris, serial killer. And is that his name? Clark Allen Morris, 34, confessed. State versus Morris. Allen Morris was a scientist. No, that's not. Clark Allen Morris. That's completely. I don't know. I don't see him in there. Usually they pop right up. He's probably in there, but maybe his name's different than they're wording it right here. But Clark Allen Morris, 34, confessed October 21st to killing Chanti Shiverdecker in Alexander City in late 1994. So anyways, like, you know, family and everybody's believing it, and it just kind of seems like, you know, right here, indictment expected in slaying of girl. Tallapoosa County authorities said they expected an indictment this summer in the slaying of 15-year-old Alexander City girl, even though a grand jury last week failed to indict the man who confessed to the crime. Mitchell Gavin, Tallapoosa County Assistant District Attorney, said Friday expected Clark Allen, that's why I couldn't find him, they spelled Allen wrong in the other article, Clark Allen Morris. Well, let's see if he's in there. One. Okay, it's Clark Morrison, maybe? That's not it. Yeah, he's not in there either. If you guys can find Clark Allen Morris, let me know. Thank you, Sherlock Hemlock. Well, hello there, dear freaks. Congrats on 70,000 subscribers, Gray. Just shows what a great job you're doing and how many of us appreciate your talents. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, we do shows every single night. I mean, the thing is, a lot of these ones, you know, I have to go back and find all the articles in order on newspapers.com, and then we work through it together just to kind of put it all together. And by the time you're done, every one of us knows this better than most people, because some of it's repeated, and you know, little bits are added, and you're kind of adding, like almost like how it is in school. You know, you add a little bit more later, and then by the time you're done, you have it memorized. Yeah, well, right now it's summer in Australia. So it looked like they were trying to get an indictment on this guy, but it never panned out. There was no more updated articles on it. So it must not have worked. And it's not solved to this day. And so we got this one in 2014, and that's a color picture of her right there. So she would have been really recognizable, right? With the white hair and the contact lenses. So after 20 years, family seeks answers in death of Chanti Shiverdecker. For 20 years, the Shiverdecker family has been hoping for one thing during the holiday season: closure. It was 20 years, which doesn't exist, but it was 20 years ago on December 9th that 15-year-old Chanti Shiverdecker went missing. Let's see. Went missing after her basketball team at Benjamin Russell had completed a Friday night practice at Radney School. They didn't usually have practice Friday night, but there was a tournament the next day, Chanti's mother, Gloria Shiverdecker, said. So we didn't know for sure what time it would be done. She was supposed to call her brother to pick her up when it was over. She never called. Following her, and that was probably something that could be proven too. So maybe a call never came in. They probably checked in on all that, never found it. Following her disappearance, local law enforcement, church groups, and countless volunteers searched the area for Chanty, who had moved here with her family from Illinois only a month earlier. For more than 6 agonizing weeks, there was no word. But on February 24th, 1995, an unidentified body was found along Highway 9 in Coosa County near Nicksburg. The following day, authorities were able to identify the remains as Chanty, but a cause of death was never able to be determined. We kept hearing things like, "This don't happen here," Gloria Shiverdecker said, but it did. Over the years, there have been tips and some other things that officers thought might lead them to her killer, but every time it turned out to be a dead end. As a parent, you try to move on, but those questions are always there. You just want to know what happened. You ask yourself, who could do this and why? It's been a long time, and they have checked out everything that they have gotten, but we just hope that someone out there will see this and come forward with something that will give us that closure, those answers. Hey, thank you, JD. At the time of Chanty's disappearance, Alexander City Police Department investigator Steve Morgan worked the case. When Chanty's remains were found in Coosa County, the Coosa County Sheriff's Office and the Alabama Bureau of Investigation also joined the investigation. Morgan, now back in patrol with the department, said Monday that this case has been one that has haunted him since that initial call. "It really has been one of those that bothers you," Morgan said. "We don't have many murderers here, and even unsolved cases. And having unsolved cases is even more rare. But in a case like this, with such a young person, with no real motive or history to go on, it has been even more troubling. We checked out every tip and lead we got. Over time, those became few and far between, or they become few and far between. It becomes a cold case, and they still work any information they get. It's bad for us to not be able to solve it, but that is nothing compared to what her family has had to live with." I wonder if they could find any DNA. I know she was out there a while, but it was winter time, and if they exhume her and she was sexually assaulted, this is before people thought about DNA. With the technology they've got now, they might be able to get something. And they might even check some of the articles that were thrown on the side of the road, even though they were out in the elements, but on the underside, if they were protected, there might be something. It really has been one of the most ones that bothers you a lot. We don't have many murders here and have unsolved cases. We checked out every tip or lead we got. Over time, those became few and far between. Coosa County Sheriff Terry Wilson said Monday that he considers this case an open investigation. Because of time, it is considered a cold case, but it's still being, it's not really, it doesn't really get that cold in Alabama, though, I would imagine. So it's not like there was snow on the ground that could have preserved something. Because of time, it is considered a cold case, but it's still being worked in conjunction with, so it's a pretty long article, but this is the last one, really. The following story reprinted. Sarah Algis just wants to know that her friend Chanty is okay. Not sure. When was this one? This is the 18th also. Okay. "I want to know where she is, and I want her home. Chanti Shiverdecker, 15, moved with her family to Alexander City, Alabama in October." What is this? This okay, they're talking about, this is when it was originally, this article was from December 22nd, 1994. I thought I'd already read that, yeah. Chanty was at basketball practice. Let's see. According to one version, one of the young men she was reportedly sided with is missing as well. We already read that. fun and friendly. Yeah, so this is all right here is just from an older article that we already read. So, all right, and then there is here's even a clearer picture because it's in a article from yesterday. Reward offered in 27-year-old cold case. So Alexander City Police and Coosa County Sheriff's Office investigators continue to search for answers in the 1994 death of 15-year-old girl, and Central Alabama CrimeStoppers is offering $5,000 reward. Chanti Shiverdecker was reported missing in Alexander City on December 9, 1994. According to news reports at the time, Shiverdecker was at basketball practice at Radney School that afternoon. Family members told the Alex City Outlook she was supposed to call her brother to pick her up after practice, but the call never came. On February 24, 1995, she was found dead in Coosa County near Alabama Highway 9, near the Nicksburg community, about 10 miles from where she was last seen. While medical examiners were able to positively identify her, they were not able to determine the cause of her death. It was ruled a homicide, however. Her family had moved to Alabama in October 1994. Shiverdecker had albinism, so she was albino, and it affected her eyesight. She was considered legally blind according to the Bitter Ending podcast. Episode 22 of the podcast examines the case. I think I stumbled upon that, but I didn't get to listen to it. Despite her challenges, according to the podcast, she made the varsity basketball team and played volleyball. Investigators believe that someone holds information that could help bring closure to Shiverdecker's family, according to Central Alabama CrimeStoppers. Our thoughts and prayers continue to go out to the Shiverdecker family. We are dedicated to bringing closure and justice to your family, Alexander Police Detective Drew Macon said. Anyone with information regarding this crime is asked to call Macon at 256-329-6746. There you go. Anyone, and also you could call the Crime Stoppers at their 24-hour tip line at 334-215-STOP or 1-833-ALL1-STOP, or download the P3 Tips app. Callers should make sure they receive a tip ID and password in order to dialogue with investigators in case there is a follow-up question. Well, there you go. Isn't that crazy? I mean, so all of that went on back then, all the searches and everything, and it just really never seemed to lead directly to anyone. I think they should look more into the fact that just randomly, with quotes around it, the day that her parents and other family members went out of town, this happens. I think that might start opening up other, potential lead ideas. Something like that. All right, so that's it, everybody. 2 hours and 46 minutes. Amazing, huh? Uh-oh. Oh, man. There, hold on a second.
Get it. Got it. Get it, come on.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Hey, living it. You got to call in and do the, I don't even know what the words were again. Okay, what was it again? Oh, yeah. Hyoid bone. Hyoid bone. Hyoid bone. Hyoid bone. I did it. Hyoid bone. Hyoid bone. Hyoid bone. I can't say bone right, though. It's weird. It's like, God. You try it. Oh, were you really? I thought you were seriously that you could do it. I thought you were kidding around. Blue, Chloe. I probably do. Probably do. Okay, so you were being a smartass living it, weren't you, when I said, and if you say you did it, you're lying. And you go, I did it, Gray. Oh man, you pulled a Zozo on me. That's pretty good. You guys are really getting good at it. That's funny.
But Gray, I really did do it. Hi, oink bone. Hi, oink bone. Hi, oink bone.
Yeah, but you didn't say bone right again. You notice how you were like boing? Almost.
No, I didn't, Gray. I said it perfectly. Gee.
Oh boy, here we go. Well, you should be able to say it perfectly then, living it. If you had a couple glasses of wine, you should be able to just boom. You know, you can't think about it when you do it. That's the problem. Yeah. Just gotta bust it out. You notice how Chloe wants to play and then Blue he plays for like 2 seconds and then it's like, it sounds like this. I think it literally sounds like this in Blue's mind. Just like that. Just boom, done. What's funny is Chloe's staring at nothing right there. There's nothing. It's not like she's looking over at me talking. She's staring at nothing. There is nothing. Yeah, we were talking about. That's exactly what we were saying. Is maybe getting another little one like Chloe, that's really young, and then Blue will just quietly wander off into a corner and go, "Thank you." So I don't have to. I'm like. See, here's the thing about Blue. He's like I'd say equivalent to maybe a 50-year-old man. And now he's got to play with a 2-year-old kid running around, or a 7-year-old. And he's probably sitting there going, oh, jeez. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm done now. But then you look over and it's just never ending. I don't know if Blue would be pissed. I think he'd like it. Remember how he was a little bit... It took him a while to warm up to Chloe, though. You guys remember that? Now they love each other. They're always sit on the same beds. And, yeah. But you guys remember that, right? Get a cockatoo. Are you kidding me? Jesus. I'm supposed to play golf tomorrow, you guys. It's going to be 33. I mean, they're like, hey, well, the tee time is at 9 in the morning. It's shotgun. And there's just no way. But that's starting at 9. Not a chance in hell. There was snow on the ground today. I did play one time when it was just ice. Some course let people play. It's hilarious. You know when you hit a ball and it lands on the green and it just kind of plops on the green and rolls a little bit? Well, it was so frozen that when your ball hit the green, it bounced 40 feet up in the air like it was hitting marble. It was so fun. I mean, you hit these... I'm being sarcastic. It's not fun. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty weird because you can putt it off the fairway because the ground's so hard. It doesn't even matter. It's more like hockey at that point. Oh, by the way, the fugitive on the run, he did say that, he goes, you know, Gray is pretty good at that mapping stuff. He wasn't right on the money, but no, listen, everybody. You saw that I was exactly where he was standing. So I don't know where he was in the city. And a lot of people are calling that doxing. It's not doxing at all. If you have somebody that's escaping the police and you give a general area that they were in this town on this intersection, that's not doxing at all. Doxing is when you give out somebody's address or their place of employment or something like that. I know, it's crazy. People just say what they want to say because it makes people, it gets people riled up. Okay, the truth is he is on the run, evading police in Indiana. Okay, he is a true crime story. Okay, he is true crime. It's continuing on and on and on. But people believe the sob story and stuff. He keeps still telling people that, oh, you know, it was just a misdemeanor and I was smoking dope. No, it was you smoked meth and you have a felony for non-payment of child support. Felony level 6. I don't know what that means, but it's a felony. So just tell people the truth, and that'll be better. "20 degrees by Monday morning on Gulf Coast." You know, it's weird. I couldn't believe it when they were saying they're like in Boulder, Colorado today. There's this massive fire in a neighborhood, and I was thinking to myself, what in the hell's going on in Colorado? That's the coldest damn place there ever was. I mean, it's like that's the last thing you would think of in Boulder on December 30th. It's ridiculous. Yeah, sure he has. And there's a lot of suckers that go over there and believe. It's unbelievable. Oh, God, we miss you. Oh. Go, if you want to, you should go figure out what his actual criminal events are. You know, that's not doxing. That's public record, everybody. The things he's been arrested for, those are what should be important to all these idiots on there that keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah, he's an absolute fugitive. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, isn't that insane though that there's a big fire in Boulder, Colorado on December 30th? It's not like you're talking about some place in California or something. You know, this is Colorado. Like next week it'll be 2 feet deep of snow in the same place. No, they haven't caught him yet. He's still out there streaming away, just doing his own thing, and people are, you know, sick. Just shows you how many stupid people there are in the world. You know, just unbelievable. Yeah. Oh, absolutely stoned out of his mind, yeah. He's still doing pot and drugs this whole time. Probably because he knows at some point he's going to get arrested, so why not just go out in a blaze of glory and smoke up, Johnny! 20 years ago, there was a pine tree disease up there. It's cold but dry. Yeah, it snows there all the time, Susanna. You always have like this counter story. Yeah, it's wintertime in Boulder, Colorado. Okay? It seems bizarre that there's a fire that's burning down neighborhoods in the middle of the winter in Colorado. Yeah, let's see. And it's going to be snowing in the next couple days, too. Yeah, but yet it still caught fire, though. That's the thing, Carol. You know. Thanks to all the new members that joined. Yeah, that was cool. What happened? Got 4 new members tonight. We only made it to about 80%, but tomorrow night is the final night of the month, and we're going to try to, for me, out of the, from the, you guys send in super chats all month, and from the income from the channel, I'm going to try to do 3,000 more tomorrow to the DNA fund. Okay, because we're just going to cover the Addison County one, and then I'm going to send probably another 1,000 to make sure of that next month. And then the rest of the money next month will go to, back to Texas EquiSearch and NCMEC and things like that. Well, good, Sherlock Hemlock. Glad I was able to make you laugh. Yeah, that was crazy. What, there's something called The Problem with Gray Hues out there? What's that one called? The Problem with Gray Hues that was posted at this. I can tell this guy is going to be a loser. Or oh, wow. So what's the name of the person that did that one? Who made that video? Oh, God. It just goes on and on. It's probably that idiot from England, who picked a criminal to be his mentor. Good stuff. Good stuff. I didn't post anything. I didn't post anything in the members. You mean from a while ago? Oh yeah, that was a long time ago. Don't worry about that. Just tonight he posted that, or when? Trust your intuition. Oh yeah, that guy from a long time ago. Yeah, he's an idiot. I mean, really, he's one of the really dumbest people that you'll ever see. You're gonna pick a criminal to be your mentor on YouTube. That's great. Good stuff, huh? No, probably not, Patty. I'm just covering what I'm covering. Wait, what are you talking about? Are you going to fund the DNA test for the month? Yeah, that's the Addison County dough. That's what I was just saying. All you have to do is say Addison County. That's the one we're talking about. I was like, you just reworded the whole case. That's hilarious. Good night. Those are leaving. Thank you for all joining us. Golki. I don't know what Golki is. Never heard of it. But yes, Patty Barnett. That's the case with the awning. And no, it's not going to be a carnival worker, as somebody stated. It's going to be that there was an awning at a house that they came from, and their bodies were dumped out there.
Well, Ray, how do you know? I mean, is there really a way to know?
Just using common sense. The carnival thing makes it a sexier story. Oh, there were carnival barkers, and there was a, well, I can't say anything because you have to be PC. Right next to the dog-faced boy. You guys remember that one episode of Star Trek a long time ago? Where Captain Kirk had to make Spock angry so that the infection from the spores that made him like a stoner almost. He was like, love and peace. And then, what the hell? Wow. And then Captain Kirk looked over at Spock and said something like, your father was a computer. He just kept saying this stuff, and then eventually he said, you're a freak. You should be put in a circus right next to the dog-faced boy. And then Spock got really upset, and then, he freed himself, because anger was the only way, the emotions, to get out from underneath the spell of the spores. Man, Chloe's just absolutely going crazy over here. All right, hold on. So let me say thank you. Thank you for all the people that became new channel members. That disappeared off the screen, so I can't thank each one of you individually. But thank you to JD, Sherlock Hemlock, Ink Twin 9, Georgina Stoliker, Lee D, Kathy Friedmaker, Lee D, Living It, as in living the dream, Georgina Stoliker, Lee D, Tawny Lee, Andrea Rogero Drum, Zozo, Lee D, Mary Hayes, Georgina Stoliker, Linda Howell, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles, Tawny Lee, LM, Eugenie, Corinna, Mary Hayes, B Mountains, Alice Patak, Candalee Woodward Stone, Lori Fisher, Cuckoo Bananas, Bama Forever, Your Gypsy, Andrea Rogero Drum, Just Another Mother, Andrea Rogero Drum, Crypto Will, who was, at one time, William Zambrano, LM, Brenda R, Maybell Quintanilla. There you go. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Tomorrow night is our last night of the month, the donation night. We have that one last push for like an hour or so, and then after that we go. I'm gonna have to use my checking account again because I'm doing a check from my bank straight to Intermountain Forensics, because prior to that they'd been another company was taking 6%, and we donated $22,000. So I mean, 6% of that is a big number. That's like 1,500, you know, whatever the hell that is. It's over $1,000. It's a big number. Yeah, there's a second case that we've funded. They're working on it. Might take a while to identify because it was a Hispanic victim, and you know, so they're just working on that. That's a criminal case. This one will end up being probably solve a criminal case if it turns out that the father of the children and the husband of the mother continued to live somewhere, and you know, maybe had another life going on, because that'll end up being where he was probably the killer, because it turns out maybe nobody was reported missing. So there you go. All right, you guys. Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it. I'm going to I'm not going to do the extra wrapping at the end. I'm tired again. Oh yeah, by the way, I did do my sleep study, and they did say that I have like mild apnea something or other, so I might have to do like some sort of a CPAP or something. But I actually am excited about that, because then it means that there's an answer. You know, it's like, oh yes, I can actually have something and be able to sleep like everybody else. Like I wake up, 8, 9, 10 times every night. I never sleep. You know, like you guys probably go to sleep and you wake up the next morning feeling refreshed. I don't feel like that very often. Like never, actually. But anyways, hopefully there'll be good times coming in the future. Yeah. So I just need to get a response from my doctor, and then I can, go get that test. You just do this take-home test and see what they say, because apparently it's life-changing once you get better sleep. My dad, he has that, and he said, oh God, it was amazing. Finally could sleep, and I felt great in the morning. Like I actually had times where my oxygen level when I was sleeping was 83 just for a second, and then I had 3 minutes at 87 or below, and the rest was normal. But I mean, shit, what was going on during those 3 minutes? That sucks. 80. I mean, that's not even. You can't make it out of the hospital with COVID with that. Oh my God, Chloe is just doing pirouettes Look at that. Yeah, it's just a mild form of it, though, Jennifer. So hopefully that'd be sweet to get something to fix it. Yeah, get the sleeping machine. I've seen great results with it on people I know, and you get 2 plane seats for the price of 1 for international flights. Really? All right. What? There's no problem. Crazy. What happened? Gen H, what happened? What happened? Did somebody say something? Are you guys trying to punk me right now? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it takes a while, I guess, to get used to it, right? I think it doesn't it breathe for you at a certain rhythm? Gen H said, "What? There's no problem, crazy jerks." Where? What happened? But when would that have been on rewind either? I don't remember anything like that. Oh. Yeah, maybe she's on rewind. Who knows what part that would be. Come on, Jen, what part are you listening to right now? She's teasing me. I know it. No, I'm not holding my breath in my sleep. Nobody does that. All right, guys, I got to get going. Thank you guys for being here tonight. We will see you guys tomorrow on the donation night, and yeah, hopefully it's a good one, and we will move on to January, the day after that, of next year, 2022. And we got to get a good start the next year as well. I don't know. I don't see that name. Oh, you are I don't know who that is. Did they say something up here earlier? Let me see. I don't know. Did they say something else too? I don't know who that is. What makes you question that? Have they made weird comments up above too? I guess I'm gonna have to go look now. Hold on. No, there's only 2 comments that I see. Man, I must have missed something. All right, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. So thank you guys very much. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. In a 2, in a 3, in a... Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
Hey, Gray, thanks.
Time, I have no problem, Mary Lou. Have a good night.
Thanks, Gray.
That is a crime dissector. That sounded so polite from her.
I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get you on a stretcher if you try and play me like a moon projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'll mean a little sprinkle with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you.
Gosh, Gray, thanks for the show. Gee.
What was the G for?
I don't know, I just didn't get to say it too much tonight. Thanks, Gray. Good night.
Oh, wow. So it's just an act all those other times.
No, it's not great. Yay!
Ah, see, you just did it. Oh, God. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Be safe out there.